Hi, I'm Rachel, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you my favourite things from Illamasqua and some of my not so favourite things. I know in America you can't buy Illamasqua in stores anymore and you can just order from their website, whereas in the UK we do have a few stores dotted around. I've got one not too far from me and in the past I have bought a lot from them. They're fairly expensive. They cost a little bit more than MAC and like Urban Decay. In fact, when I was checking the prices for this video, I think they have gone up recently. While I have bought some things full price, most of what I've got from Illamasqua has been bought in the sale. They've got a really good one twice a year and sometimes smaller ones throughout. It's worth signing up on their website so you know when the sales are. I'll start with some base products. One of my favourites of theirs is, no surprise, the Skin Base Foundation. It's apparently based on the Asian BB creams and not the kind that we have over here that are basically tinted moisturisers. This one's a lot thicker and gives really good coverage. However, this shade isn't quite right for me. This is 03 and it's way too warm and slightly too dark, so I mix it with a bit of the Illamasqua Rich Liquid Foundation. And this one is in 105 and it's a pink based white, so between the two I can get my shade. It's not the cheapest foundation, it's £32.50 and you can now buy skin based mixers too. So they used to just come in like a little sample size, and there's 4 shades of mixer, a white and then some colours I don't need so I can't remember what they are. But this has been quite handy for mixing with foundations. The Rich Liquid is very rich, so this one's great when mixing with a lighter foundation. I guess related to base is this brush. When I bought it I think it was called the highlighter brush, but I noticed on the website today that they referred to it just as the round buffing brush, and it's £26. I like this for foundation, although it is quite small, so it takes a bit longer than say with the Real Technique one, and it's also good for cream, blush and highlighter. Illamasqua have some of my favourite brow products. I've been using their brow cake in Thunder for ages, and unlike using an eyeshadow as a powder for your brows, this one's a bit waxy and it really stays there, and when you're drawing on bare skin to fill in patches in your brows it does stick to it quite well. They have a lot of shades of this and I have a few in my kit, and I also love their brow gel. They call it the Precision Brow Gel. I have it in Strike, which is just a medium brown. So the brow gel is £18.50 and the brow cake is £17.50. Another great product they do is sealing gel, and basically it's their version of Duraline. It costs £8 for 2 of these little things, but they do last ages. So these are great for rehydrating a dried out gel liner or for mixing with eyeshadow or pigment to create your own liner. I don't like it quite as much as Duraline though, and I will tell you why in a bit. I absolutely love Illamasqua's cream highlighter in Aurora. It's a light champagne that would probably suit most people. It does also come in a darker colour, I think it's called Supernatural. That one's way too dark for me though. You can use this all over underneath your foundation for just a general glow, or you can use it as you would usually highlighter. If you've been watching my channel for a little while, it'll be no surprise that I'm going to mention their blushes. I really love them. I have a video where I swatch all of my blushes. This is my favourite of the powder ones and it's Lover. It's a great peachy colour that pretty much goes with anything, and I thought I would show you my favourite cream blusher from them. This is Zygomatic and it's a real natural colour, and I'll swatch this one for you because I bought it since the swatch video. It's more of a light mauve than peach or pink. All of the blush products are £22. For an idea of prices in the sale, the blushes would be between £7 and £10 I think. Moving on to some of my favourite eye products. I really like their powder pigments, which they call their pure pigments. I only have these 2 though. This one, Beguile, I'm actually wearing as a highlighter on top of Gleam, and it's a white sort of glitter pigment with that reflects teal and purple and some other colours. It's great for layering over another colour on the lid. I have this one as well, but I hate saying the name because I'm never quite sure how to say it. It's Furore though, and it's a champagne colour that is also great as a highlight. and for the inner corner. This one foiled is so pretty. These pots are really messy though, that's the only downside. There's just there's quite a big hole in the middle, and then you've got to really force these lids off, so it can get really messy. That one's Furor and that one's Beguile. And then of course I love their powder shadows. These are most of mine in this Z palette. The smaller ones I've taken out of Illamasqua palettes, and these ones are sort of a silicone texture, very odd. They are quite pricey, so if you're just after a random neutral kind of colour that you can get anywhere, I'd suggest going elsewhere. But they do really good bright colours, and if you're in the UK and so able to get to a counter, and you'd rather go to a counter than buy it online and from like Sugar Pill or something like that, then they are great for that. The powder shadows are $16.50 each and palettes are $34, and you get 4 shades in a palette. I'll just show you some of the shades now. That's Fledgling, the blue is Imagine, orange is Vulgar, and the red is Angst. Another eye product I love is the Vintage Metallics. It's a cream eyeshadow. These ones are a fairly new product. I mean, they've been around about a year and a half, and I like them because they do not crease at all. I have 3 shades, but I'm going to show you just this one, which is my favourite. It's called Bibelot or Bibelo, I'm not quite sure. It's not a colour I would usually like, but I think it's quite unique. It's a sort of deep sagey green with gold shimmer in it, and the Vintage Metallics are £17. They are really pretty, but if you were after something like that, you could just get the Maybelline colour tattoos. There's not an awful lot of difference in the way they perform, although I'd say the colour tattoos maybe dry out slightly quicker. Onto lips, which is probably my favourite Illamasqua category. I had to mention their lip glosses. I just brought a few shades down to show you. They have some really unique shades. If you want something unwearable, there's this green called Shoot, and there's a teal called Gender, which is really pretty. Then Boost is amazing, it's this iridescent purple. I'll swatch them on my hand. They are really opaque, you don't need a liner with them. I'm wearing Shoot on the outside of my lips today. There's Boost. This one's Wanderlust, and it's sort of a blackened bronze. I must say, one thing I dislike about the lip glosses is the brush on the wand. It gets really splayed, annoying. You're better off just cutting the brush off and using an actual lip brush. The lip glosses are $17.50. And then I wanted to mention their Glamour lipsticks, which are the satins. This one is Rose Pout. I've just got a little stub because I put the rest in my kit. So that's Rose Pout, a pinky nude. These ones they're really opaque and they're really comfortable. They don't dry out my lips at all, and they last without touch-up for a really long time. So that's some of my favourite products. I don't know if you can tell, I feel really uncomfortable talking about products that are really expensive. I honestly do think these are worth it, but maybe it's just because I can see how much is in front of me and I'm working out how much it will cost. Definitely recommend waiting for sales if you are interested. On to products I didn't like from Illamasqua. First up are their matte liquid lipsticks. These came out maybe 2 springs ago, and I think they know that the formula wasn't the best because they discontinued them. They're such pretty shades, but they just crumble. They never feel completely dry, and your lips end up sticking to each other, and where they've stuck, you just end up with bare patches. So really pretty, but no good. Another failure for me are the liquid metals. They're really pretty. I have a few other shades too, bought in the sale. They swatch amazingly. They really are the most metallic makeup you're ever gonna get, but they crease really badly, so they don't have a practical use for everyday makeup wear. On a similar line is their cream pigments. I have a few colours in this, and similar reason to the liquid metals really, in that they don't set. When these first came out, and for quite a long time after, well, until the Vintage Metallics came out, these were used by Illamasqua as eyeshadow bases, but they crease. I don't think they're any good for that at all. And then for blending into the skin, they're just really thick. They're quite hard to work in, so that's this one, which is called Delirium. I don't know, just not a big fan of those. I think both these cream products, they're not so great for day-to-day use, but if you're a makeup artist doing something fun on a shoot, then you know these are probably good for that because they don't need to not crease then. Another unfavourite is their Hydra Veil. I did have the full size, I've used it up, so this is just a sample of it. It's just a clear watery gel that you can use before makeup. They said it's not quite a primer and it's not quite skincare. Honestly, it does feel really nice on, it really does. Your face doesn't dry out at all throughout the day, but it's nothing to write home about, and it's £32. I just think it's really expensive for something where you don't really see any effects from it. Another unfavourite is their Rich Liquid foundation. I had this one when their skin-based foundations first came out. I went to be colour matched to a skin base and there wasn't one that suited me, so they recommended this, and it's the shade 120. And then again, it's not quite right for me. It's too orangey. It's not as dark as it looks in here. So I mixed it with the white and it's alright, but that's not why it's an unfavourite. It's very, very thick, really hard to blend in. It was quite a few months before I could work out how to use it. They recommended using this brush to blend it in, and you just can't work fast enough with this brush and it goes really blotchy. It sticks to any dry skin you've got. The only ways I've found to make it work is by mixing it in with something really light and fluidy, like the L'Oreal True Match. You can sort of get away with using it if you spray Fix Plus or something on a brush before doing it. Beauty Blender can kind of make it look alright, but it is still a bit blotchy with it. I'll show you how thick it is. Like, did you see that it kind of stretches? It's really sticky. Another problem I have with that foundation is it doesn't last throughout the day on my skin. It all breaks up around my chin and my nose. I'm sure somebody less oily wouldn't have that problem. And admittedly I do have that problem with a lot of foundations, but just another reason for me to not love it. My last unfavourite is their regular line of lipsticks. They are hit and miss. I do have some I really like in it, but the matte ones can be very hard to work with. This one is Immodest, a sort of very bright light neon pink. The colours are really beautiful, but they just don't apply very well. A lot of them are streaky and patchy and so dry that it's hard to actually get anything to stick to your lips. But I do have one solution to it, and it's related to what I said earlier about me preferring Duraline to their sealing gel. You can use Duraline on a lip brush with one of these matte lipsticks and it makes it apply really smoothly. But for some reason that doesn't work with the sealing gel. It doesn't mix with the lipsticks and they separate, but Duraline is great for that. So if you have any really matte lipsticks that you struggle to apply with, try Duraline. It works with the melt lipsticks really well as well. I know this is long after I've done the rest of my eyeshadow swatches, but I just wanted to show you this one, Victim. It's one of my favourites. I think it's quite a unique blue. I'd love to know what you like or dislike from Illamasqua. I definitely like a lot more than I dislike. I kind of wanted to mention everything I had from Illamasqua and whether I liked it or not, but then this video will be ridiculously long and it probably is already. Let me know if you want me to do this with any other brands. I'll see you next time. Bye.